Hi everyone! Today I am filming a currently inked video. I have done 2 of these before. You can see them on my channel, but it's been a while, so I thought I would do an updated version. And I currently have 8 pens inked, slightly out of my comfort zone, but since I'm currently on break, I'm sure I'll use them. It will take me forever to use up the ink in here in most of my pens because I have a few eyedroppered. So this is an eyedroppered pen, this is an eyedroppered pen, and this is an eyedroppered pen, which means I fill the body with ink and there's a lot of ink in them. So it's gonna take me a while. But let's just go right into it and see which pens I've inked and what inks I'm using right now. All right. Okay, here we are with my first pen. It's also my most recently inked pen, and that is a Moonman C1. This is inked with a shimmer ink by Diamine. I think it's called Arabian Nights. It is a lovely shimmer ink. And this pen is by Moonman. It is a fairly cheap pen that can be eyedroppered, but it can also be used with a converter. Currently I've eyedroppered it because I like the way the shimmer ink looks in the barrel. Also, this barrel is really cool. I don't know if it's a property of the barrel or the ink, but it doesn't really stick to the sides of the barrel. So you can actually see the ink moving in here. This pen has a colored section and one flat side, so it doesn't roll away when you put it down somewhere. Nib, I would say a fine-ish medium nib. It's not very wet writer, but it's also not too dry and not too fine. Okay. The Moonman C1 with Diamine Arabian Nights. This is like a dark blue ink with a silver shimmer. I will put a close-up picture of all the inks in the description box. This nib is stiff. It's just a steel nib, very simple. But it's a very lovely writer, and when the shimmer sags down to one side, you can see that very nicely in this pen. Yep. So that's a number 1. Number 2 is a slightly more expensive pen, and that is the Pelican M600, not turquoise, M600 Violet. This is a lovely pen. I have this with a fine nib, and I really, really like it. I have one of the Diamine Cult Pens exclusives in here. So this is a Pelican M600, which I feel is the perfect Pelican for my size hands. It's very lovely. With a fine nib. And then it is Diamine Cult pens, and I think it's Christine. I bought the small bottles, and they're called Little Chris and Little Pip, but this is Little Chris, also known as Christine. This is a darkish blue, not a very bright blue. It's more leaning toward teal. With some red sheen. It's not a teal. It's still very much a blue, but it's not a real, what do you call that? Bold or bright blue. Anyway, this is one of my favorite pens. I really love it. So that's 2 down. Move my notebook up a bit. And then a pen, which is a recent favorite of mine. I haven't had it for very long. This is the Sailor LeCool, or LeCool, or I have no idea how to pronounce that. This is a starter pen made by Sailor. They don't market it as a starter pen, but it is cheap enough to be a starter pen. And it has the exact size of the Pro Gear. This pen I've had for about, I think 2 weeks or a week and a half, and it's on its third converter fill. So I think that's a good sign that I love it. These pens only come in medium fine nibs, but they're very good. So a Sailor, I paid about 24 pounds for mine, medium fine. As you can see, the Pelican fine is bigger than the medium fine by Sailor. Sailor Souten is the ink. It is a very stiff nib, but I love the way this writes. It is an excellent writer. And there are very many lovely finishes that this pen comes in, and sure, of course I want them all. Sponsor me, please. It's just great. Yep, lovely little pen. Let's move on to another Pelican. This is an M205. This is the Aquamarine. And this is one of the cheaper models of Pelican that is still a piston filler. And I just really like this color. It's one of the nicest M205s they made, in my opinion. Also, fine nib. I've been kind of into the finer nibs. To be fair, I do have a bunch of separate Pelican nibs because they're very easy to change. So I can pick and choose what I want. This is Cross of Violet as the ink, which is one of my favorite purples. This pen is just good. It's a simple steel nib, but it's really nice. Again, this fine is wider than the Sailor medium fine. I bought this not too long ago at Arabian. Their website is Vilpennen.nl. So if you're still looking for one, they might still have it. They sometimes have limited editions a little longer, but I'm not sure. Then I think we're going to the small pens that I have inked right now. One of them is a Quaker Sport. As you can see, this is eyedropper, which means I have filled the body with ink. It's very full. And this is a Quaker Sport with a medium nib. Nice smudging by me right there. Medium nib. And Krishna, I don't really know how to pronounce this ink name. Anoki. Also really don't know, I don't think I put the H in the right place. I think it goes there. Steel nib again, but lovely writer. Nice and wet. Krishna inks are, to me, always very dry. But this nib can really keep it nice and wet, which is very good. Okay, another pink, and let's switch pages for this one. Another tiny pink eyedropper. This is a Moonman Wang Kai mini, I believe. This you screw to a post to make it a full-size pen. And it is lovely and a very, very fine nib. So let's angle the camera a little differently. So Moonman Wang Kai mini. I do have cartridges for this pen, but I'd rather eyedropper it. Filled with Waterman turquoise. Should have put a pink ink in this, I guess, but I was just feeling the turquoise inks. Also very stiff nib, not very wet, but it's still a very lovely writer. And that finish is just super cute. It's just a really cute pen that you can literally just put in your pocket and you'll be fine. And that's what I do when I go to work. I stuff this in my pocket. Only 2 more. And one of them is a Wingsung 618. Recently did a video about this pen. Won't go into too much detail about this. Lovely writer, fine-ish medium nib, and inked with diamine or diamine November Rain, which is a lovely Christmas color. Stiff nib, it's hooded, so I wouldn't expect anything else. But yeah, just a good all-round writer. Last but not least is a pen I haven't shown on my channel before, and it's a Waterman Korean silver trim, which is very nice. I've filled this one with Solferino, Roar and Klinger Solferino. This is a medium nib. And it's an ink that works fairly well with this pen. I must say that both me and my boyfriend have found that the Koreans have baby's bottom. So we both have one, and both of ours have a slight case of baby's bottom. Of course, some nib tuning can clear that up, but I don't feel comfortable enough doing that, so I try to find an ink that works well with it. This is a gold nib, but not a very flexy gold nib, not at all. It's because it's integrated that it's super stiff, but it's so sleek and so pretty that I can't be mad at it for not being flexy. So those are my 8 currently inked pens. I'll put them back in the frame. 8 currently inked pens. Too many to use at once, but I'm gonna write some letters in my break. I'm gonna journal a lot. I'm gonna make other people use my pens. So hopefully some of the ink will be gone at the end of the 2 weeks I have off. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Again, there's a picture of the inks in the description, and I will see you next time. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.